What to do? What to do? What's up with you? I'm currently doing an all-nighter, so Nell Diamond gave me the idea of doing a reading vlog. Yeah. So here's the thing. I've got about 7 hours to read, and I'm in the mood to read, so I'm gonna read something, and I'm gonna vlog about it. And this is gonna be my first reading vlog on my channel. So let's see how it goes. I'll introduce the books. Yes. Yeah, so I put a hoodie on because it's a staple of a reading vlog, right? Having a hoodie on. All the book girlies do it. Anyway, here are the books that I want to at least make some kind of dent into. First is Autopsy of a Fairytale by Nicole Scarano. And this is a romance mystery novel. That's the cover. Romance mystery novel. I don't know what this book is about. It says a lot about, like, it's a Beauty and the Beast kind of in a procedural murder mystery romance kind of predicament. So intrigued. Next is Greed Box by Molly Garcia. I'm actually like 25% into this. This is a horror novel about a man and his wife who go to an antique store and come across like a box that grants wishes. Just at the setup bit now, but I'm 24%, I'm 25% in. So I want to make at least some headway. I want to get to at least 50% of this. It's been a lot of setup so far, but I've been reading this for so long, I need to make some headway in it. And the final book that I will be trying to make some kind of headway in is Garth Marenghi's Incarcerat. Incarcerat. He says Incarcerat in books, so I'm going to say Incarcerat. Garth Marenghi. This is the sequel to Garth Marenghi's Terror Tome. I read that last year, and I really enjoyed it. It was very campy, like pulp horror comedy kind of thing. This is a book that is based on like a TV show character from British television that I grew up with. It was called Garth Marenghi's Darkplace, and it basically was a parody of like every sci-fi horror show from like the 70s and 80s, because you know I like my throwbacks. And this is basically based on the author. So the TV show was all about the works of the author Garth Marenghi becoming adapted into a TV show, like one of his books being adapted into a TV show. Garth Marenghi doesn't actually exist. He's like a fake author made for this TV show, and the TV show is supposed to be fake as well. So I am reading a book by a fake author based in the universe of a TV show in which he plays someone else. It's a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. It's like surreal horror, what Mighty Boosh luxury comedy kind of thing, but way back when. Anyway, in Terror Tome, we meet Nick Steen, who is a sci-fi horror author, primarily horror, and he's meant to be like a Stephen King stand-in. And one day he comes across a typewriter that is cursed, and he has relations with it, and as a result of having relations with that typewriter for like a year, all of his stories come to life and are trying to essentially either wipe him out or destroy the world. That is the first book. That's the setup of the first book. This is a continuation of that, and I am currently, I just passed the 100 mark with this one. So I'm 137 pages in. I finished the first story because they're like multiple parts, and each part is dedicated to a different one of Nick Steen's stories. The first one for this one was Partentium. Yeah, Partentium, which is all about a pilot who gets into a plane crash, and then it gives him psychic abilities, and he's stuck in a loop trying to stop the crash from happening. But obviously it's Nick Steen, so a lot of other things happen to him as well. The second one I'm currently going on to is Amabella Mathers. I think that's what it's called. The Nullified Man. Yeah, Annabella Mathers, I think. Yeah, Arabella Mathers. I have no idea what this is a reference to. I know a lot of the things that happen in Terratome are references to like Stephen King works and Lovecraftian works. Like in Terratome, there was literally a darker half piss take and a reanimator piss take. So I'm gonna try and get to the next story in this. I think there are 3 stories. Try and get to the next story in this. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna split up all these times between 3 hours. Okay, so I want to get to around 7, 8 o'clock ish, and it's already 12:30 midnight. Okay, so I'm gonna start with Terratome, get as far as I can into that, and then I'm gonna switch over to the Greed box and try to get to 50% before my time runs out, and then I'm gonna finish off with Autopsy of a Fairytale and get as far into this as I possibly can. I hope I do that. I hope I get that right. There are a lot of things that can hinder this. Most of all, my contact lenses. I've been to work all day. I still have my contact lenses in, and I can already feel the veiling on me. But it's fine. Another is me staying awake. I hope I can stay awake. I've been awake since 4 a.m. So, yeah. And also, coffee. I have got coffee. I will be making a lot of coffee. Let's see. Let's see how far I can get to. Right now, I'm in Neil Diamond's sprint. Now Diamond sprints. I don't know how long she'll be sprinting for. I will be going with her for as long as possible. And then maybe I'll probably switch over to Twitch and see who's doing their thing, or go in a Discord group and see if they are sprinting as well. Hopefully somebody's sprinting. So let's see if I can And so if you didn't believe me with the synopsis before for Fairytale, there it is, in black and white. Finding it hard to believe that a man who engaged sexually with a metallic typing implement had the desire to repress anything. I mean, she's not wrong. She's not wrong. So I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I fell asleep. Wow, insta-fail. I need to reread this whole thing. Like, I think I got to like 158, and then I started fading out, and it sucks because what I've read so far and what I've like dipped in and dipped out was really good. It's basically a House on Haunted Hill story, where Nick Steen is taking his daughter to a haunted house to basically write, like he rented out a place in the hills. It's like an old gothic mansion, and he wants to write a gothic story, and he takes his daughter, 12-year-old daughter, with him, and she finds a doll, and the doll's basically possessed, and there's so many like really good like spooky bits in there, and I liked what I read so far, but I'm falling asleep at the same time because I'm so tired, and it is coming up to 3:30, over 3:45, which means my time with this book is almost finished. So right now, where I stopped is 104 pages, chapter 7. I do not remember anything else. I do not remember anything else. I don't remember chapter 6. I don't remember chapter 5. I don't remember chapter 4. Yeah, I don't remember chapter 4. I kind of remember. Yeah. I kind of remember chapter 3. I think what I remember the most is him, and which I thought was funny, is Nick Stein is in this house, and he goes to, he puts his daughter, he's really awful to his daughter. He puts his daughter in the attic of this house, and he is downstairs in the lounge, in the dining area. He's messing with this portrait that keeps changing. Its facial expression keeps changing. And he then goes up to his room and he hears his daughter scream. And he jumps up and like rushes out and everything. And he rushes to the stairs where the attic is. And he says, "Gwendolyn! Daddy! Oh, Daddy! Gwendolyn? Daddy, is that you?" "Yes, Gwendolyn, it's me. Will you stop bloody screaming? I'm trying to write down here." I waited a whole minute and then heard nothing and made my way back downstairs to my bedroom. I jot down the details of her nightmare tomorrow. Truly awful father. Anyway, that is what I remember. And that was chapter 2. So, yeah, I need to read chapter 3 onwards. So, that was 160. And I'm at, my bookmark is at 204. So that's several chapters that I've read, but did not retain in my head. Which sucks because my time with this book is almost up. And I'm fairly certain that I very much was enjoying what was going on in the story, because she finds a doll later on, and the doll is connected to the titular character, Arabella Mathis. But anything else I did not retain. I didn't retain any of it. So basically, like, I don't know, but my time is pretty much up with this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to from chapter 3 onwards and then finish at half 3, because I started at half midnight, and then however long I get into this, then I'll finish and then go into something else, and the others I have to read with my eyeballs. So this is going to be difficult. Far more difficult than I thought it would be. Far more difficult. How do people do this? Like, how do you guys do this? Because I'm not young anymore. I need my sleep. I'm old. So I'm starting this, and I just want to point out that on the back of this book, there is a quote in Swedish from a place called What's On in Gothenburg, and it says...
Pause. So apparently I said this wrong. Here's the ghost to say the actual words that are on the back of this book.
Den här boken är skitsnack.
Okay, you got it? Alright, good. Now we're continuing.
That basically says this book is bullshit. And it's kind of right. It's kind of right. It's kind of right. Okay, I'm about halfway through. Incarcerat. I need to turn this light down. It's way too bright. Way too bright. Let's turn you down a little bit. Better, better. Halfway through this book. Previously I got to 204. Now, because I reread from chapter 3 of Arabella Mathers, I got close to that. So I got to 191. 191 in this, and that's about halfway through the entire book. And about, let me see, and I was chapter 6 of Arabella Mathers, and I have a better understanding of this entire thing. And I was right. I do like this. I do like this story. So, in this little storybook, basically, so after Partentium, Nick Steen is in a coma, okay, and his publicist, his editor, is tasked with giving the big corporation that's in Partentium access to one of the books that Nick Steen had written way back, and he put it in a safe, blah blah blah. That book is Arabella. And in Arabella Mathers, it's all about a writer named Nicholas Steen, which is basically Nick Stein. He's self-insert into his own story, and his daughter Gwendolyn. So I can't remember if he even gave the name of his actual daughter, but he takes, so this is going on, he's written this during the time when him and his wife were getting divorced, and he was spending a lot of time with his actual daughter, and he decides to pen this House on Haunted Hill ghost story called Arabella Mathers. In it, we follow Nicholas Stein as he takes his daughter to a place called Creston, and there's a house that's kind of haunted. The people around the area knows that it's haunted by the spirit of a writer, and the writer had a daughter named Arabella. Nicholas goes there, he's just his whole dick self, puts his daughter Gwendolyn in the attic, and at the same time it's I actually care for my daughter. Actually, she's a pain in the ass. But she's not. She's actually a really nice person. He's the actual pain in the ass. So we're hearing everything from his point of view, but he's the pain in the ass. The town doesn't want him to have this house that he rented out. So they were trying to outbid him, but they failed. And he goes into town one day, and a woman gives him a doll, and he decides to give that doll to his daughter Gwendolyn, and strange things start happening immediately when they're in the house. Gwendolyn is clearly being haunted, but Nicholas is just in his own head about everything and thinks she's acting up. She's being a typical teenager, but she's not. She's being haunted. He's just too thick to realize that. So he gives her this doll, and the doll is also possessed. And that's where I am right now with the possessed doll. A lot of haunted stuff is happening in this house, but and it's happening to him too. But because he's so thick, he doesn't. He doesn't. He kind of registers it and also doesn't register it. Like there's this portrait of the previous owner called Anton Mathers, and he can see that the portrait is like snaring at him and interacting with him, but in his head he's just like, oh, it snared at me, oh well. So he's registering that this haunted shit's happening, but at the same time he's not registering that this haunting shit is happening. It's hilarious. I love it. My favorite bit so far in that story is when he goes into town, he meets all the townspeople, and he starts talking about like finding writing utensils, and every writing utensil he mentions, the crowd collectively goes, ah! I'm looking for a Rylance. Ah! I to get some A4 paper. Ah! So I can write my book. Ah! It's uh it's so stupid. I love it. I love it. Anyway, it is. I'm putting this down now. It is 4:01 a.m. So I'm a little bit late in starting the greed box, but I'm gonna do that now. I'm gonna start the greed box. It's actually 4:02. It just switched over, but I'm getting on my Kindle. I'm still in Coda's sprints, and I'm gonna try my best to get to at least 50% of greed box. I've already said that this is about a couple called Tom. Is his name Tom? Jack. Jack and Meg. They go to an antiques shop on the high street, and Jack becomes instantly attracted to a box in the shop. It's like an antique secondhand shop. Instantly attracted to this box. And the owner tells Jack this story. Jackie made this ghost story about how there is something in this box that grants wishes, and the last person who got this box granted wishes, and his whole life fell apart. But because Jack was so attracted to this box the moment he saw it, the shopkeeper was like, all right, bet, sale. I'm here to sell things, so sale. Give me your money. He takes it home. Meg says, I know it's a story, but don't open it. I'm not comfortable with this, okay, hubby? And he's like, okay, say less. And then Meg loses her job. She's a freelance something, and she loses her job because the company wants to downsize. And the first thing that's going to go in a downsizing company are the gig people. So she loses her job, and Jack is applying for a promotion at his job, but at the moment he's bitching about the two other people that he's up against. So he's complaining about I think the name was Roger and Liam. So he's like, they're thick as thieves, they go golfing together. There's no freaking way I'm getting that job. So he's slowly being like tempted to monkey's paw himself. So I'm gonna continue this and see how far I can get into it, but I'm liking it so far. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. So let's go. Updato. It's 5:07. I am 36% into Greedbox. Am I gonna do this? Like, I have 3 hours left. 2 of those hours. No, one. No, wait. 1 of those hours, I think. 1 hour? 6 o'clock? The 7 and then. Yeah. 6 o'clock is when I switch over to Autopsy of a Fairytale. That's the last book. I'm gonna read as much of that as possible. Am I going to make it? I think I am. I think I'm gonna make it. Also, I think my neighbor just woke up because somebody closed the door. And there was this weird. Okay, it's gone now, but there was this weird droning noise outside my window just now. Like an ambient droning noise, and it just left. Just stopped. I'm not gonna look outside because it might be spooky. It might be spooky. It's 5 a.m. Do you know where your kids are?
It's 11 o'clock. Do you know where your children are?
I told you last night, no!
Good morning. Hi. As you can see, it is daytime now. It is, I think, like 6:05 a.m. I think. Let me check. Oh, it's 6. Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. Fun. Okay. It is 6:08 a.m. You saw before it went off. And I not only got to my goal, I surpassed it. Yes, I got to 62% in Greedbox. And it's kind of alright. Like, it's not reinventing the wheel. But for what it is, as a short novella, of which I am 84 pages out of 133, it's not bad. It's one of those be careful what you wish for things. And I thought that it was gonna be dude gets box, dude makes wish, wish goes wrong, people die. However, it's not like that. It's not. It is. Dude gets super obsessed with box from the very, very beginning. Dude has some bad luck, encouraging him to use said box. And dude makes wish. other people's lives get screwed up, and it inadvertently makes his life a little bit better. So very monkey's paw. So like, I think one of the biggest monkey paw thing or stories is like, oh well, a guy wishes that he could be rich, and as he makes the wish, his mom is on like a plane, and the plane goes down, and he actually gets rich from her inheritance, kind of thing. And I think that kind of wishing is dope, because it's like this is happening in the background thing. You don't actually get a wish. You get like an unfortunate event that happens, and then you benefit from it. So in this, Jack is applying for like a promotion. He thinks that the promotion will make his and Meg's life better. But at the same time, in the background, this box is kind of influencing how much he wants this job. Like, he does want the job, and it's kind of heavily hinted that he has this capacity to be that little bit evil-ish, but the box is definitely like pushing it a little bit further than he would. For example, he and Meg were having a fight, and he was saying some really mean things in his head and snapping at her, and that apparently is him normally reacting to her. But the urge to smack her in the face is not normal. It's not a normal thing for him to feel, and it actually shocks him. It's like, I don't normally think about hitting women. I don't know where this thought came from, but I really wanted to smack her in the face. So, another thing that's really interesting is how the box influences other people. For instance, and I'm gonna spoil a little bit here, Jack's up for a promotion. The other person who's up for that promotion is Liam. And Liam, when Jack makes his wish to get that promotion, Liam is found, he goes into work the next day, and he's found to have been downloading inappropriate stuff on his work computer. But somebody says that it was an anonymous tip that tipped them off. I don't know if you can hear that, but my neighbor is up and he's getting his car ready for work, but whatever. An anonymous tip tipped off the police for them to come and check his computer at work. Later on, there's another guy named Roger, and Roger is Liam's friend, and Roger is kind of pissed that Jack got the job, and somehow Liam got caught with this explicit material that we're not going to talk about because we don't need that in the ether. And he blames Jack for it, saying that the anonymous call was Jack that did it. But Jack makes another wish, because obviously Roger is like making his life a living hell, and he's like threatening to get him out of the job because it was basically rigged for Liam to win, but whatever, because of Roger. Well, whatever. Anyway, later on, the wish for Roger, we find it from Roger's point of view, that Roger actually does something, and it's Roger that calls the police and tells on himself. So I'm wondering if the anonymous call was not anonymous. I'm wondering if Liam was the one who called and self-reported. Because the way Roger was like super mad about, he wasn't mad about him, this stuff being on the work computer. He was mad about somebody like reporting him, and he thought it was Jack that reported him. He wasn't mad that this was found. He wasn't like, oh, you set him up and put this shit on his computer. It's funny how an anonymous tipster came out of the blue. So it's kind of heavily hinted. It's kind of hinted. Maybe I'm speculating that Liam was nasty. Roger knew he was nasty. And the wish just made Liam self-report. And if that's the case, dope. We don't need you in the world. Anyway, I'm going to take a little break. I'm not going to have another coffee. It's getting lighter outside. But I am going to take a little break, walk around, not rest my eyes, just like look away from a screen for 5 minutes. And then I'm going to start an autopsy of a fairy tale by Nicole Scarano. Scarano? Yeah, Scarano. And see how far I can get into that. Into my like 8 o'clock deadline when I finish. And then go to bed and sleep. And then send on. You have no idea how tired I am. It is 7:30, 7:29. By the time I touch that button, it's going to be 7:30. Look, touch the button. It's still 7:29. Anyway, I am 4% into Autopsy of a Fairy Tale. I'm reading it on my Kindle. I couldn't be asked to hold that big ass tablet. I'm sorry. But I'm 4% in. I said I need to get to at least 10% because I'm slowing down in my reading. I'm not gonna lie, I zoomed quickly through the greed box. I was zooming. I was like, clip, 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 clip. In this, it is taking me forever to get through. Like, one, because the language is really flowery, and it's kind of annoying me. Like the prose are all flowery, and it's annoying me. The other two books had very nice flowing prose, but they were simple prose, and I was grateful. They were all very descriptive, don't get me wrong, the prose were good. But in this, the prose are very, very flowery, and I'm not feeling the flowery prose. They're actually quite annoying when you're really, really tired and you want to sleep. But I did say I'm going to try and get 10%. I am 4% in right now. So there's 6% left. I have to get there before 8 o'clock. What do I get? We'll see. So, this is my final update. The final tally of what I did. As you can see, it's daytime now. And what you saw earlier, it was 8:02. It is 8:04 now. And I've only gotten to 7% of Autopsy of a Fairytale. And as you can hear, the ghost that lives in my house is awake now, which means this video is finished. So I'm really proud of what I've done. Also, my contact lens is starting to fail on me, so I'm pretty happy that I'm finished now. But all in all, I did pretty good. Also, okay, start. There's a guy. Okay, sorry. Autopsy of a Fairytale follows Isabel Emerson, who is nicknamed Belle, and she's a detective from New York who moves to Belgia. A small little town somewhere, from New York after she was attacked on duty. And she decides to move to this little town, get away from it all. She's a detective in the town, and when we start the story, she's called in by her partner Gareth to investigate a murder of a guy named Brent Lumen from Lumen Customs. And his body, they kind of fucked him up. They jacked this motherfucker up. They turned him into a candle. They turned him into a candle, y'all. And now she has to investigate this crime. I thought this was gonna be a cozy romance now. Facts though. I read the author's note, and the author's note is like, if you came here for like a cozy fantasy, you're not gonna get that. There is romance though. Anyway, I'm tired. I'm done. I'm kind of done. So I'm gonna round this up. Okay? Total tally for what I did today. I read up to 191 pages into... Where are you? Garth Marenghi's Incarcerat. Ooh, I am fading fast. Incarcerat. I'm pretty proud of that. Then I did 62 pages, 62% of Greed Box. Was loving that. I was flying through that. I was like... And then I started to struggle a bit But I got to 7%, which is 20 pages on the Kindle, of Autopsy of a Fairytale. Sorry, I'm looking at this. His feet are hands, and his hands are feet. Anyway, I feel like I should be sleeping. My eyes feel quite heavy right now. So, I'm gonna say, tack så mycket för att du tittade. Hoppas du har en bra dag. Hej då. Good dog. Good dog. Or good night. Or wherever you are, have a good day. Hej då.